Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals of ESL Open Cup number 201 Americas, Papi Americas. Oh my god, it's been a pretty short broadcast here, actually. What, 3 hours we've been live? Yeah, yeah, just under 3 hours, actually. You know, we were like, we just under 3 hours, so very fast tournament so far, and here we go. We're here in the finals. If you're in the chat, predictions are open. Predictions are open in the chat. Place your bets on how you think this series will go. Predictions open. Whether it goes the way of ByuN or MaxPax. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Radisson Station. We have the Danish Protoss player representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Yeah, it's been 2 hours and 40 minutes. Very short so far here, but we do have a couple of replays to cast after this. Bear that in mind. What I mean by that is we actually have Dolan versus Hero. Dolan versus Hero after this finals. Ready to sink my teeth into it. Gibbs, papi, Gibbs. But for now, game 1 is going to be on Radisson Station. Interesting vetoes here. We very rarely get to see this map other than WTL. Outside of WTL, it's just very rare here. We saw it over the weekend between Scarlet versus Estrella. We saw Scarlet all in the hell out of Estrella with a Nidus and a Ling drop at the same time. But of course, that's a different matchup, and we'll see how ByuN compares to MaxPax here on a very different map. We have a Gate Cyber Expand from MaxPax. Typically in this matchup, we see players rush into greed, but Terran do have a bit of an easier time harassing and punishing a greedy Protoss because of their drop play, which comes online relatively quickly. It is going to be a Rax Expand, single gas opener here from ByuN, very economic. Meanwhile, across the map, we do have, again, a standard opener out of MaxPax as well, so economic all around. We'll see how greedy we're going to be. First Reaper is pushing. He's going to be going for a bit of a scout, trying to get a read on what the tech is. Now, the downside here is that there's actually no Reaper cliff to get into the natural. You have to go up the ramp to get into the natural or the main base. So very easy to defend, very easy to deflect that Reaper, and so far the Reaper will not make it in. Oh! It barely will. Will not. That's the other thing, you can full wall off. You can go for a full wall off, and the Reaper cannot get into the natural base, which means we have no idea what MaxPax is up to. This is the power of Radisson Station. You deny the scouts completely, and that's also why a lot of Terran players actually skip the Reaper on Radisson Station in TVP, because there's very little reason to actually get it. As back at home, oh my, the greed, Poppy, we going for a Rax Expand straight into a third CC, and this is what I mentioned earlier. Typically on this map, it's a race to greed. Both players are just cutting as many corners as they can. It's a very different game of StarCraft. That's also why I love it, because this map just forces a just very unique play that you would never see on any other map. So yeah, we do have a fast third CC into a 3 Rax. All off of 1 gas. Meanwhile, back at home, MaxPax, he's doubling down on aggression. He's going for a Dark Shrine opener. DTs are on the way for MaxPax. Very aggressive here instead. Going to be delaying his expansion in favor of a Robo, Twilight Council, and Dark Shrine. I love this. So, ByuN expects his opponent to be greedy. That's why ByuN is opening up 3CC. He's expecting MaxPax to be hyper greedy when MaxPax instead shifts gears and is going hyper aggressive instead. Not all in, but aggressive, as he's still working on eventually a third base. It is the War Prism is moving out across the map, or rallied across the map. Dark Shrine is about to finish up. The question becomes, will we have any scans? Now, we will have 3 orbitals, so luckily here for ByuN, because of his build, he does have 3 orbitals available. He just muled, but he has a higher chance of actually having a scan available for those Dark Templar. So a little bit fortunate. Now, a lot of this is also going to rely on luck, on whether or not ByuN mules. As he did just mule. Up next is the main base. The main base is soon to have enough energy for another mule, and hopefully we do hold on to some energy for a scan as we're getting there. Here we go. DT's Dark Templar warped in. They're headed towards that natural base. So far, no scans are available. Turret is on the way. DT PvT comes in. We're getting some economic damage done. We're going into the main base. We only have one scan. But the turrets are going to finish. The turrets are about to finish, but workers are falling left and right. Turrets are done in the main as well. That's 8 worker kills so far. And every single Dark Templar survives. That's what's important. We get damage done for free, essentially. The Dark Templar, they take shield damage. The Prison takes shield damage. We can rotate around and go for some DTs. Sorry, go for an Archon draw. Archon is on the way. Behind this, MaxPax is taking his third base. He's taking an economic lead. MaxPax, I believe he did scout the opener. Yep, he saw all 3 Raxes. He's aware of the bio push that's coming. He's aware of the bio follow-up here of ByuN. Getting ready back at home. Shield battery. Overcharge is available. Archons, they come in. They're getting a lot of damage done. Oh my god, the Archons, they survive. We pick up how many Marines? 8 Marines. Not bad. Again, for shield damage. Just going to be regenerating those shields. Oh no! The miss rally! Oh, wasn't a miss rally though. We take some hold damage, but we take down the Marines once again. Bold move there from MaxPax. As ByuN is expanding and taking his third. Taking the exposed third base. Bold move. Is spotted by MaxPax. Behind this, charge is on the way alongside +1, so we're getting into a charge lot Archon follow-up, which makes plenty of sense here after a DT opener. Plenty of sense for MaxPax. So we're going to be rotating around with our Stalkers. They are vanilla Stalkers. No, sorry, they have Blink. Never mind, my apologies. They do have Blink. And yeah, Marines are getting picked off one after the other. We're blinking in an awkward direction. The Marauders, they get 2 Stalkers. Good pickups. Good pickups here. The Archons, they catch some reinforcements. Get the hell out of there. Vikings are on the way. And MaxPax is taking a 4th. So we're just settling into this best of 5. Settling into this game. Scan takes down the Observer. ByuN is just getting his base saturated. We have our second eBay and an armory on the way, so ByuN is sinking further ahead, working towards his 2-2. And what's important is that ByuN hasn't been able to push. This is true, but he's just building up towards the mid game, towards that next step. And because of his better economy, because of his faster economy, I should say, he's okay. He can macro out of this. Gets a kill in the Prism, forces a recall on the Archons. MaxPax is forced back. I'm sure he wanted to push in, but without that War Prism to reinforce, he cannot. So he has to retreat, and ByuN takes map control. ByuN, he's up in economy. He's ahead when it comes to the economy overall. With those mules. And MaxPax does not have splash damage, not yet. Storm halfway done. And ByuN is pushing. Takes it up the Zanaga. Doesn't go for the rocks. But the army has been revealed. And MaxPax getting ready for a drop into the natural or into the pocket base. Shield batteries, cannons, Archons are in position at the same time as Zealot Rumbai is getting ready to push in, but we have reinforcements back at home. Scan reveals the army, and ByuN doesn't want to push into this. He doesn't have enough Widow Mines, he doesn't have any ghosts or tanks. So he's going to back up. MaxPax, he wants to try to catch the army as well. Does get a couple of Marauders. Good pickups. ByuN does retreat. +1 ship weapons on the way. Getting ready for Libs. Getting ready for those Liberators. Meanwhile, Storm is done. Oh, Storm has completed. MaxPax going to be pulling back in the end. Zealot Rumbai comes in as ByuN is taking a 4 CC. Oh my god, his economy, it's crazy. He looks to dive on the army itself. yeah, it looks like the storms. Can we connect? Oh, it barely grazes the army. Not the best connections here from MaxPax. EMP does miss the High Templar. Oh, the other does connect. One storm left. Great kiting here from ByuN, pulling back here to his middle line, but the boys, they have to be pulled. And there's a storm. Again, only connecting with the Marauder. Oh my god, but a massive connection on the army. That's what we needed. That's what we wanted. We take down the army. We bust into the mineral line. GG gets called, and MaxPax will take game number 1. GG. And again, MaxPax was able to snowball out of control. Again, because of the map itself, MaxPax didn't have to worry about drop play. You are very secure on 4 bases. ByuN, he could not harass at all. He was able to get his own economy up and running, that's true, but MaxPax didn't have to worry about drop play or counterattacks, run-bys. Could just focus on these big main engagements and vying for map control. And in that, MaxPax, he was able to just roll or snowball out of control and roll over ByuN there. 2 storms, 2 good storms is all he needed. And you could also argue that maybe ByuN was being a little bit too greedy as well. Remember, he was taking a 4th as the attack was happening. Wasn't quite ready for it in the end. Again, very minimal widow mines, no tanks. And with that, that is game 1 in the books. Now we're getting into game number 2. We're looking to fight back. We're looking to make a series out of this. It's a best of 5, so we have plenty of games ahead of us. Personally, I hope that we get it back and forth. I hope it isn't one-sided in either direction. But we'll see. We will see. As we are getting into game number 2. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of side Delta, we have the Danish Protoss player representing Storm Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion, down in the series but not out. It is ByuN. Here we go. Getting into game number 2 here. Side Delta, a little bit more defensive. Does have that ramp leading into the natural base. Probe is being as annoying as possible. Once again, ByuN going for an economic opener. Going for a Rax expand setup here. And MaxPax just tasing away at those SCVs. Being quite a nuisance here for ByuN. Oh my, he wants that. He wants the SCV. He wants it. Doesn't quite get it. MaxPax, he just confirms that there's only one gas geyser, which means he knows that he can just chill here at the natural and try to delay the expansion. There it is. He's going to be threatening a dive, threatening a pylon block even. As behind this, we have the orbital on the way. MaxPax going for his own gate cyber expand. Economic opener out of MaxPax. And again, his goal here is to delay. And there we go. Finally, ByuN is able to... It was a very delayed CC, but he finally does throw it down. Finally gets it up and running. And we can get it into our game. And MaxPax just forcing some inefficiencies at the start of the game here. But we should be settling into the rest of this. And once again, it looks like a 3 Rax. Once again, a very bio-heavy composition here. We have a second Rax, so should be throwing down a third Rax as well. This is very powerful, especially against a Stargate opener. It's too early to tell what MaxPax is going for, but behind the mineral line, this should be a Twilight Council, but we'll see. There it is, a Twilight Council is on the way. If it's a Stargate, it's usually a little bit more closer to the edge, and we want it just because we want it to be a little bit further towards the bases of your opponent. But it's going to be a Twilight Council. Luckily for MaxPax, if it was a Stargate, then he would be in a bit of trouble and under quite a lot of pressure. Adept just shades in and doesn't get eyes on the production. Scout is denied. Now, the way this works, basically, ByuN is going to be working towards a stim timing without medevacs. We're going to be building up a massive bio army before we get into factories or medevac production, and ByuN is going to be pushing with stim. MaxPax, he needs to, one, recognize what's going on, realize what is coming his way, and ideally chip away at this army. He's going for DTs! Oh my god. Once again, Dark Templar, and I kind of like this. When it comes to ByuN's push across the map, he's going to have very limited scans. It's 2-base play. Very limited scans are going to be available here for ByuN, and his army's going to be fragile. DTs to harass and defensively as well are going to be ideal. Blink is more secure, because if you get Blink Stalk, if you go for a Blink opener with 3 gateways or even 4 gateways, you can just chip away at this army, slow it down, and by the time it gets across the map, there's nothing left. But this is a little bit different.
I have met the enemy.
We haven't seen the production, but we have seen only Marines, no Hellions, no Widow Mines, no nothing. We can assume that it's 3 racks. Third base is being taken. Now, this isn't an all-in, but this is still designed to do damage. And if it doesn't, then ByuN's going to be in some trouble. Here we go. The push is coming. We need defensive DTs already. As ByuN is taking it... Sorry, MaxPax is taking a big risk. He's just going across the map. Mules have been spent. We have 1 scan available here at the natural. ByuN is almost expecting an army to be waiting for him. There it is. We still have that scan. DTs are coming in. And what do we have at home to defend? We have nothing. There is nothing at home to defend. We need some units, Papi. DTs are wreaking havoc. ByuN, does he care? He checks for a third. The third is at the linear base location. Dark Templar just, getting even more SCVs. 7 workers go down. We do have enough time for a warp in. We have a defensive DT. Pylons are going down. We have the scan across the map. MaxPax, he's in a lot of trouble. The robo's depowered. And is that going to be it? Is that game? We have 1 gateway, 1 warp in available. Yeah, boys are being pulled into the army, into a meat grinder. And ByuN, he's snowballing out of control across the map. DTs are still getting damage done, but the main base is secure. Another scan in the main. ByuN, he's running out of steam. He kills 21 probes. And eventually this will be cleaned up. And we're in a very weird game state. It's very weird, Papi. Okay, here we go. We still have that 1 DT across the map. MaxPax is down to 28 workers, but he has 3 bases. Meanwhile, ByuN, he's down to 32. He's technically ahead in workers. He has an army. MaxPax doesn't. As the DT harass does subside. Here we go. ByuN is going to be pushing. Archon is on the way. Do we have anything at home to defend? We have 1 Immortal and a shield battery. MaxPax has very little. Oh my god, he has to calm down. Ideally, the Archon drop forces ByuN back, but this is the army. 1 Immortal, 1 Zealot. MaxPax, he doesn't have the economy to warp in anything else, and we're going for the 3rd base. Yeah, and this 3rd is going to go down. There is no saving it. Archons are doing what they can across the map, but are they running out of shields? Oh my god, they're getting so low. This 3rd will fall. And MaxPax has to race back home. It's going to be 2 base versus 2 base, which is always a better thing for the Terran. MaxPax, he needs a better economy, or he needs that 3rd. Pushing up the ramp. Oh, force field less than ideal. We dive on the army. Shield battery is still powered. Barely. The Archons are across the map. The Immortal try to hold on here. We have to pull the boys. Archon goes down and GG gets called. ByuN takes game number 2, tying up the series 1-1. GG. Again, ByuN just sitting across the map, and MaxPax had nothing, absolutely nothing at home to defend for the first push. And yeah, he was crippled. He was crippled as a result. His economy in the dumps, and yeah, ByuN, he was able to defend well enough against the DTs to snowball out of control. GG, well played. It was a risky maneuver, very risky out of MaxPax to go for a DT opener like that and to try to punish ByuN, but ByuN, again, no hesitation. He just pushed out across the map as the DTs were attacking, did even more damage. GG, well played. We're going to game 3. Yeah, going all the way to game number 3. And I'm just happy that we have a back and forth. We have a back and forth, Papi. We're going to... not an ace match, it's still a best of 5, but we're looking to determine who takes the lead in this series, who gains momentum in this best of 5. As we're loading in to Solaris. I wonder if MaxPax is going to go for a DT opener again, 3 games in a row. I hope not. But at the same time, ByuN has been going for 3 Raxes 2 games in a row as well. Let's find out. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Solaris, we have the Danish Protoss player representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. Tying up the series 1-1, it is ByuN. Here we go. Now, ByuN has been going for 3 racks variations every game so far, and MaxPax has been going for Dark Shrine openers every game so far. Do we deviate, or do we commit? We're here to find out. We are here to find out. Got that Rax on the way. So far, double gas. Okay, already we are switching things up. ByuN going for a double gas opener. Much more aggressive here out of ByuN. This leads into a faster factory. This leads into a faster starport as well. This will be a delayed expansion out of ByuN. And I'm sure MaxPax wants to get a read on what exactly is coming his way. Whether it's a Widowmine drop, a Hellion push, Cyclones even early on. There's a lot available here for ByuN. And MaxPax, he wants to try to figure it out. Probe dipping back in. Again, just being as annoying as possible. There's that factory on the way. No kind of weird Marauder-based opener or anything like that. And MaxPax will race back home. Back at home, Gate, Cyber, Expand. Standard opener here out of MaxPax. Nothing too out of the norm with this opener. Upon seeing double gas, we have options. We can still go Stargate, definitely. Just try to keep up with the with whether it's Hellions or Cyclones. Interesting. We have a reactor here. No add-on swap, by the way. The racks in the factory are too far away. So no add-on swap into Hellions. CC thrown down. And I imagine this is going to be a Cyclone opener. With all this gas. Yep, there we go. Cyclone is on the way. Behind this, MaxPax going for a Twilight Council first. Now, I assume that this is going to be for... I assume it's going to be for Blink, but it could be for DTs. As MaxPax is pushing. Again, these adepts, they're designed not just to deal economic damage, but also to get a read on what exactly ByuN is up to. And now we have a better idea. Cyclone has arrived to defend this natural base. We're going to get a lock on. SCV. Oh! The SCV! Ah, it's trying to escape and it will... Oh god, it barely will. Takes 3 shots. The SCV does barely survive. Now, we delayed the starport. We're going into a second Rax. This is a 2-1-1 variation. This could also be a 3 Rax as well, just to amass an army, an insane army as well, before we push out with Medivacs later on down the line. So we aren't going for any kind of harassment force or early game aggression. We're just building up an army, building up a pretty hefty army at that. Getting right into tank production. And we've been seeing this quite a bit. Again, I'm curious if we throw down a third Rax with this, and I feel like we should. Cyclone gets across the map. Just trying to get a read on what's going on. It is going to be Blink, so Blink opener, not DTs. much more standard. MaxPax is going for a third gateway. Makes sense. Very safe play here. Instead of going for 2-gate blink into a third base, we have 3 gateways. Second pylon as well before that third base. So we will have more of an aggressive force here to harass, to gain map control, to push out. Third base is delayed. Cyclone rocks up. And MaxPax will soon be pushing. Now, because it's only 3 gateways, he doesn't have enough to, like, break his opponent or kill his opponent. There it is, third racks. But he has enough to contain. As we can see, ByuN, he's not really too concerned in pushing, though. With this 3 rack setup here, and with this factory again, we're just building up a death ball of an army. And eventually we're going to be pushing. Eventually. Once we do, oh boy. It's going to be quite a push. Cure has been fond of this. Cure has been very fond of this build from ByuN. Here we go. Cyclone just waddles into the natural. Gets one probe. Only one. As we do have high ground vision. MaxPax looking to go into the main. We have 1 tank in the natural, 1 tank in the main, 2 tanks in the main even. ByuN pretty well set up. Stalkers are dropped. Within range of the tank though. 1 Stalker goes down already. A hefty loss there for MaxPax. He's expanding behind this. Stalkers push in. And they get a couple of SCVs. 3 workers. Not bad. Here comes the star pool. We should be going for an add-on swap. Yep, there we go. Add-on swap for medevacs. Once these 2 medevacs come out, we're pushing. And how many tanks will we have? We have 3 tanks. Stim, combat shields, +1. Everything is lined up. Fun fact as well. ByuN hasn't really been... Again, he hasn't really been able to scout too much. He had the Cyclone and the Reaper, and that's it so far. Nice snipe on the Observer. Keeping MaxPax in the dark. Behind this, he's going to charge delayed Robotics Bay with delayed Colossus. And there it is, Desi on siege, we're pushing. ByuN, he is up in army supply. Colossus will not be done in time for this push. As he moves out, we have a backstab. I love this here from MaxPax. Charge is about to finish, and we're going for a big Zealot counterattack. Very risky maneuver. There are reinforcements back at home. One Zealot goes down. At the same time, MaxPax, he's trying to slow this army down. Loses a Stalker. Less than ideal. Zealot dropping to the natural. Not going to find any damage. We have so many charges waiting here on top of the ramp. ByuN is being slowed down. This is not an all-in. We do have a 3rd CC on the way. ByuN, he's just backing up here for a moment. Dealing with this drop. 4 more SCVs go down. MaxPax up almost 20 workers. Almost. And he's looking for the army. And we're coming back home. ByuN, he knows that he's just lost too much momentum. There's too much of an army waiting for him. Very mature decision. Very mature here from ByuN. He keeps most of his army alive. Doesn't lose anything. Doesn't throw anything away. He recognizes that if he tried to push up, I mean, the Colossus has already arrived. This timing was supposed to hit before the Colossus, and we missed the timing. So instead, ByuN is going to be maintaining his army and taking a 3rd. We're getting into the mid-game. Getting into a longer game. Prism is recalled. Vikings arrive. And now ByuN is just taking a more defensive position here. As MaxPax is waiting for a move out. As soon as ByuN moves out, we have a Zealot run by being set up on the right and the left-hand side. Essentially, MaxPax is ready for a dive. Here we go so far. Mindshot gets baited out. We're pushing in. At the same time, here comes that run by. Mind shot's gonna be at the tanks. The tanks are exposed, and one tank goes down. The others are going down as well. The Zealot bust into the natural base as well. ByuN pulled out of position. That's 10 workers going down. A big warp into the main base as well. And here comes the main army here towards that third. Good target firing on the Colossus. But the 3 tanks fall. And the Zealots are wreaking havoc here. In one fell swoop, MaxPax, he cripples the economy. ByuN down to 23 SCVs. He takes down the last Colossus. We go for another warp into the main. Again, ByuN, he was ready for a forward push. He was ready for a frontal assault. He wasn't ready for the backstab. The Zealots, they're winning him the game. They're winning MaxPax this game. ByuN is down to 19 workers, and back at home, MaxPax, he's taking a 5th. He doesn't need one. He doesn't need a 5th base, but he's going for it anyway. A little bit greedy here from MaxPax. Now, all he has to do is survive the counterattack. ByuN is all in. ByuN is completely all in. We're pushing with our Marine Marauder army. No tanks, no Widow Mines. The Zealots, they come back in. ByuN, he can't push out. He doesn't want to. We just muled. Yeah, no scan energy. We just muled. GG gets called. The DTs come in to clean up. And MaxPax takes game number 3. GG, well played. Oh my god. And it makes sense, right? It makes sense. MaxPax, he cripples the economy. And because of that, chances are the Terran player is going to be muling as hard as possible to keep their economy afloat, to tread water. Which is why DTs come in, 0 scans. GG. End of the game. As MaxPax takes the lead in this series and is 1 game away from becoming this week's ESL Open Cup Americas champion. ByuN needs to fight back here and now to force the ace match. Here we go. It all comes down to this. All comes down to Hecate as our next game. And again, just ByuN, he had an army to defend. He had enough to hold on. It's just he was caught between a rock and a hard place. He was just pulled apart completely. Would not keep up, and here we go. We're loading in. You can hear the beeps. Potentially the final game. Hopefully, I hope that it goes to the ace match. Hopefully it goes all the way to game 5. We'll see. We're here for it. Let's go. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Hecate, we have the Danish Protoss player. The red Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming, leading the series 2-1, 1 game away from becoming this week's champion. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. He needs to fight back here and now. It is ByuN. It's all on the line. It's all on the table here for ByuN. Oh boy. And we'll see how he approaches this. Again, that last game, he did miss his timing. As a reminder, it was kind of a 3-1 setup here in the early game. ByuN, he massed up a massive army here with 3 tanks, Marines, Marauders. He was pushing, but he was delayed. As he tried to push in, you know, we had MaxPax taking control of the high ground of the ramp, slowing down the army, at the same time going for a Zealot drop, distracting ByuN. And ByuN missed his timing. The Colossus came out, and he had to turn back around, get into a longer game, a macro game, and that is when MaxPax took control of the map, took control of the game. Snowball out of control. Max multi-prong packs. Let's go. Let us go, as we are just setting things up here. And yeah, for now, we're just going to be scouting across the map. ByuN this time going for a single gas opener, so it's going to be a faster CC on low ground. There it is. Was delayed a little bit, actually, by MaxPax, but only by a couple of seconds. ByuN, of course, this time going for an economic opener. Not as committed as last time. As a reminder, of course, ByuN did go for a double gas opener in the last game. Was that much more aggressive, that much more committed, which also led into him falling a bit behind after failing to do too much damage, or any damage at all. Just a very, very different dynamic here. As, oh my god, once again, a 3 racks. We've been going for so many 3 racks. My oh my. ByuN has been very fond of 3 racksing this series. Almost every game so far, except for the last one. He has been going for it. Meanwhile, big shout out to Jeff at Basource in the chat. Bomb Chica, wow. It's meant to be boom, Papi. It's meant to be boom. Ay. But thank you so much for resubscribing for 7 months. 7 months. Thank you so much. It's been so long, Papi, so long. We appreciate the support. We appreciate it. Always do, always do. All the money that we make here goes towards our tournament, so thank you. As, ooh, 2 SCVs do go down. We delay the CC. MaxPax already doing so much here at the natural. Looking to shade away. Can he get it? Up! He will! He delays even further, getting a 3rd worker. Ay. ByuN, he just wants an expansion. Another Adept has arrived. We shade up the ramp. We don't see too much. Again, it is a 3 racks. This is going to be a stim push, a stim timing from ByuN. It is how ByuN won the game on side Delta, but this time we have Blink, not a Dark Shrine. Robo's on the way. So far, a 2-gate opener from MaxPax. Should be working towards a 3rd gateway here, I imagine. Yep, there it is. 3rd gateway. So 3-gate Blink, which means he should have a large enough army to deal with this push, as long as he can engage fast enough. Let's see if he can pull it off. As for now, ByuN is just building up his forces. Now, because he knows it's up against a Twilight Council opener, he's making Marauders alongside the Marines. Stim and Combat Shields are on the way. Basically, ByuN is going to be hitting a timing with these upgrades. He will have very limited Stims available. Oh, he gets one. Oh my god, he gets 1 Stalker. A slip up there from MaxPax. A little bit uncharacteristic. Losing a Stalker already. He should be expanding and taking a 3rd base. And ByuN is soon to push. And MaxPax, he needs to slow this down. As he actually goes for a counterattack, the army is pushing, and back at home, SCVs are falling. And MaxPax, he should recognize that the army is gone. The army is not here, and it should be we just evacuate the natural base. We should recall back home. Yeah, MaxPax, sorry, ByuN, he's committing. He's going straight for the natural base. The Stalkers, they do not turn back around. We do have a full wall off. There's that recall, racing back home. We stim. The force field does hold on. We focus down the sentry. And we're waiting at that force field. We already stimmed once. Oh my god. Bit of a misclick there from MaxPax. And that may cost him a gateway, but no, ByuN is forced back. He already stimmed once, and that's all he had in the chamber. And MaxPax will hold. That's the 2nd stim. Gets a Stalker. The juggling, though, is too good, and this is completely cleaned up. Now, this was not all in, but this had to do more damage. If we look at the trades here, ByuN lost 17 Marines, 2 Marauders, and he got a handful of gateway units. A couple of Stalkers, yes. A sentry, but not much else. He killed a gateway. MaxPax, he gets away with his 3rd base. He's going to be pushing. Does it come across the army? We lose another Stalker. Big pickoffs here from ByuN. Yeah, the boys have to be pulled away. Pylon's going to go down. The Nexus itself should be safe. As we force another stim. This is just so aggressive here from ByuN. Hyper aggressive, and MaxPax doesn't care. He's getting across the map. We have reinforcements back at home. MaxPax forcing out the stim, cleans up the Marauders, only loses 2 workers. MaxPax, he maintains his economic lead, and ByuN is doubling down on 2 bases. Still no 3rd CC. Factory and Starport are on the way. MaxPax has map control. ByuN is in a lot of trouble. He is in a lot of trouble. The bunker is gonna fall. Good juggling here. Boys have to be pulled. This army is so low. MaxPax barely does escape. Oh, bleeding out too many stalkers though. And bleeding out a couple of the juggling. The juggling is too good. We work through all the Marines. We get on top of the Marauders as well. And what is left? A handful of Marines are remaining here in the main base of ByuN. Reinforcements are on the way. He stims on forward. Boys are being pulled. And MaxPax is deflected. But he is forcing so much lost mining time. And behind this, we have a massive gateway explosion. 5 gates on the way. Charge +1. And ByuN is struggling to hold on. MaxPax, he just doesn't stop. Again, he knows that the medevacs haven't arrived yet, so he can just do permanent damage to these Marines and Marauders. Another Stalker goes down. 2 Stalkers even. But we get 11 SCVs, we get more Marines, and ByuN, he's treading water at the moment. He's barely holding on. MaxPax, he throws down a 4th base. He doesn't need a 4th, but he does throw it down. Oh my god, we avoid the mine shots. No shot. Zealots come in. MaxPax is missing warp ins. You can see he has like 1k minerals in the bank, which is less than ideal. He's been hyper fixated here on this push, and GG gets called. It's just too much. He snowballs out of control. Who needs those extra warp ins? As MaxPax will take the series 3-1, becoming this week's ESL Open Cup Americas champion. GG, well played. Congratulations. Oh. Congratulations to MaxPax for winning it all there. Again, just, oh my god, hyper fixated on his control on Blink Micro and the juggling as well. Out trading ByuN and shutting him down time and time again. Very well done. Very well played. GG. The control of MaxPax, just being flaunted there on full display. It's beautiful. It was beautiful. Congratulations to MaxPax. My condolences to ByuN as he does tap out. Does tap out of the game, out of the series, out of the tournament. And yeah, very well done here to MaxPax. He is not foreign to winning these tournaments. He has won plenty of ESL Americas before, but this was a dominant performance against ByuN. To be fair, ByuN was heavily reliant on 3-vaxing. He 3-vaxed the most 3 out of the 4 games in this series. And when you 3-vax, you're very committed. You have to get damage done. You have to be in the face of your opponent. And we saw that ByuN was in the face of MaxPax, but didn't get the damage he was looking for. He didn't get into the mineral line, didn't get on top of the production, did not trade well enough against the Stalkers, and wasn't able to overcome and overpower MaxPax in the end. And yeah, with that, we have our champion. And typically, we would be wrapping up the tournaments. We would be wrapping up our broadcasts, but no, we have a little bit more ahead of us. We have another series to cover. So, something that occurred, something that we missed in this tournament broadcast, as, again, it was a bit of a shorter broadcast today, only, what, 3 hours? 3 hours we were live. Not too long at all. Again, we do apologize because, we do apologize that we did end up dropping the stream earlier, halfway through. So half of it was casted, then we dropped the stream, then we have the other half here. So unfortunately, we lost a lot of viewers as a result. But yeah, thank you everyone for finding us, for coming across us. I see in the chat, painful not seeing medevacs. I mean, that's because it was a 3-vax. It was a delayed intentionally so delayed medevac production from ByuN. I believe even CC before Starport, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. Regardless, we're getting into this, and we have another matchup, another best of 3 that we missed out on, that we have the replays for. I'm ready for Hero versus Dolan. Ah, let's go.